55 years ago, but still. 1973, also, Vice President Spiro Agnew resigned.
Oh, because he got in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, tax evasion.
Tax evasion.
Sort of like Letitia Phillips.
Hey, have either of you do Netflix?
Yes, love Netflix.
Clifford, do you do Netflix?
Netflix? What's Netflix?
Okay, doesn't make any difference. The
Hey,
resident.
wait, disclaimer. I just want to say it wasn't Letitia Phillips, wasn't it Letitia James?
I'm sorry, Letitia
It is Letitia
James.
James, yes.
Good catch.
I was going to say, because I think you're, mixing it with Latifah Phillips, who used to be the equity director in Lowell.
Has she left
yes,
us?
she's gone.
Yes,
So-
she took a superintendentship
Ooh.
in Western Mass, I believe. I forget where.
So, John, tell us about the Netflix.
It's called The Residence. It's
Okay.
all about the White House.
The Resident?
The
Residents.
The Residence, and it's all about a fictitious White House.
Okay.
Very interesting.
But you also got me into The Resident on Netflix, too. I feel like it was about doctors who make mistakes and, all of that.
How they cover each
Right.
other's behinds. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So Residents.
So, born in 1958 was Tanya Tucker, American singer-songwriter. She wrote the song Delta Dawn. Remember that?
Delta Dawn, what's that flower you got on?
Right.
I never claimed to be a good singer.
In 1985, Yul Brynner passed away. He'd been born in 1920.
Didn't he, what's the movie that he's famous for?
King and I.
Yes, absolutely. But he did a biblical movie also, where he did a biblical movie too.
Yes.
He was
The Ten
also
Commandments?
Thank you, Ten Commandments, thank you.
on Netflix. He did a Western on Netflix.
Okay.
He was a robot
Oh, really?
on
All right.
Netflix, yeah.
Orson Welles died the same day, same year.
Okay.
He
Oh, that's good stuff.
produced a lot of interesting films.
And quite the imagination.
Orson Welles was amazing.
I thought,
Orson Welles, help me. The movie with the son has his mother's dead body in the hotel. What was that? Was that Orson Welles? No, Orson Welles did more sci-fi, right?
well, he did do some sci-fi, but I don't know the son with the dead mother.
So can somebody text in what if they remember what that movie is? Because I'm drawing up. I can give you the facts, but I can't remember the name of the movie.
Well, let's just move on.
Okay.
The movie,
Because Cliff's almost into this century.
the line from one of his movies, they're at the top of a Ferris wheel,
Okay.
and the character is saying, talking about bad government, said the Borgias and the Medicis and all of their double dealing gave us the Renaissance.
Which is the two families that ran Italy in the 1600s,
Northern
right?
Italy,
Northern
yeah.
Italy, right.
And he says, and in that period of time, what did the Swiss give us?
Watches,
The
little
cuckoo
knives.
clock.
The cuckoo clock, okay. Good cuckoo clocks, all right.
So, Christopher Reeves died in 2004.
Very sad.
Superman, yeah.
Yep.
So this is World Day Against the Death Penalty.
Okay, so I didn't realize we had the World Day Against the Death Penalty, because what's interesting is that there are some states, there are still many states in the United States that have the death penalty. There are 11, I think, who do not. But
I want a one-upsmanship that.
Go ahead.
When you're done your thought,
Okay, but I'm surprised to realize that there are a lot of countries who are very, very against the death penalty. John, your thoughts?
I want painful death penalty
Oh,
on like pay-per-view.
oh,
The families who were hurt by this murderer
Yes?
get the money from pay-per-view.
So when the Oklahoma City bombing took place and the person was going to be executed, the families actually asked for that, and there was a push for the death to be televised. People had to pay for it, and that was actually the thought. The families would benefit from the money that came in from watching the individual be executed. People said no because it was such a macabre thing to do. Others said no, the families could benefit from the funds and they should be allowed to do so. It never happened. But a good thought. Hey, listen, again, if you want to watch, then you pay and you watch. If you don't want to watch, you don't pay, you don't watch. Simple as that.
That's my idea.
Simple as that.
And because it's John's idea, this is also World Mental Health Day. John, when you win the lottery, you can get a campaign to change the Bill of Rights.
And what change in the Bill of Rights would we be making?
Removing the restriction against cruel and unusual punishment.
That's your opinion, Cliff.
And that's why I'm here, John.
It's in the Bible, eye for an eye. Isn't it in the Bible, eye for an eye?
So,
And some politician out there said, nay, nay, the hell with the Bible.
so the Eighth Amendment, cruel and unusual punishment. Some people say the death penalty is cruel and unusual punishment. And that's why they went from Old Sparky, which was the electric
Wait
chair.
a second, Regina, wasn't slavery legal in the USA?
Pardon me, John?
Wasn't slavery legal in the USA?
Yes, it was.
Okay, well, things
Yeah.
can be changed, can't
Yes,
they?
absolutely. So we went from Old Sparky,
Geez, that's what I said.
the firing squad, to a public hanging. So now we have death by lethal injection because it's not considered cruel to give a person a lethal injection.
You
Now,
just don't think it's cruel to take someone's life?
But if you're talking an eye for an eye, and here's how I feel. If your loved one has been murdered by somebody, I don't feel like I have the right to tell you you cannot have the death penalty for that person. Because I am not experiencing the trauma and the grief of losing that loved one.
Right.
I don't
And
feel
you
like-
know what comes to my mind is the Brian Kohlberger case and
Yes.
how like certain families were all about the death penalty and others were happy that he took the plea. That was tough.
Regina, you want to read these? You got an answer here, too.
Our texters are awesome. Great ghoulish talk around Halloween. That's from Jay. Is Bates Motel the movie Regina's talking about? Yes, I am. Thank you, texter. That is absolutely it. Home run, Mr. McD, an eye for an eye. Mentality might change the evil mind. So it is an eye for an eye, and John is right. It is in the Bible. And because it was in the Bible, that's how we formed our punishments. So let's remember, in some societies, if you stole, you got your hand cut off, right? And that was so that when you went out in public, people saw you without a hand, they knew you were a thief. So that was common punishment. Common punishment.
Did not Christ come, though, to change those things?
Yes, he did, Cliff.
And the
that's why I pray every day.
The recent exemplar is Erica Kirk.
And I pray for her every day, too, to give her strength.
Because is she not forgive
Yes,
her
she did.
husband's murderer?
She did, and she's an amazing woman, because I do not have the strength of character that she does, and I pray to have that strength of character, because she's amazing. But I'm going to go back to, our texters are the best in the world. This one just texted in, can you run an electric chair on solar panels? You know, texter, if you had a whole lot of solar panels, that just might be possible. I don't know, but that is a great, great question. Thank you. Thank you
Oh,
very
God.
much.
This is making me think of Anthony's friend's house, John. If you want to show it at some point, the electric chair guy. It's called industrial, and it runs on industrial power.
So in my class yesterday, we did an exercise. We were talking about crime and punishment. So on Tuesday, I had my students come up with a list of things they thought were criminal. And yesterday, they broke up into small groups, and they had to agree to assign punishments to the crimes. I had one group that was very serious about their punishments. They called me over, hey, professor, can you come over here? When you said we could assign any punishment, did you mean that we could assign people to the electric chair? I said, sure. And one of the students in the group said, how does that really work? I said, well, they put a wet sponge in your head, and then they put a cap on. I went through the whole thing, and they said, yep, that's going to be how we execute some people. I'm like, okay. So, and these are very young people who were, I thought, I was really surprised that they really were very serious about executing people for criminal behavior.
I think we're looking at a class division here. These are not Harvard, Yale students.
No, because how
These are students who represent the rest of the country.
Thank you.
So
Yes.
students divide, half are for socialism, half are for capitalism. The socialism students are the kinds that go to the Ivy Leagues.
Yes.
Right. So if Regina was teaching at like a Harvard, or nobody would be choosing the electric
So,
chair.
so you are right, Eileen. You're 100% right. But the rest of Middle America, and we are the greater numbers,
Yeah.
really does want a safer country. So yes, we are going to send people to prison for life. And then one young woman called me over and said, Professor, is 25 years mean life sentence? I said, no, 25 years means 25 years. And she said, I just read an article the other day where a judge gave somebody 400 years. Now, what does that mean? I said, the judge was mad, and the judge wanted to say, you're going away for life. So we actually had a really excellent conversation about punishment. And these students really thought a lot about what punishment means in today's society. I was really pleased with how they were grasping the concept.
So we have better hope for our future.
Well,
Sounds like.
yes, because they were asking questions, they were inquisitive, they were wondering how things work, which is, as a college professor, that's what you want. You want kids to ask questions.
Yes.
And you want kids to say, hey, explain this to me. How does this work? Explain, and so you want kids to be inquisitive, even if it's some macabre stuff about how's the electric chair work.
You have to be a little
Right.
careful.
Yeah.
I had a seminar, and I assigned each of them a position in the cabinet.
Ooh.
And I said, we're going to discuss this topic the next time we meet. One of the students called the principal and got the official view.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Cool.
Where did you teach?
You're kidding.
I taught at the National War College.
So a lot different than where I'm teaching, Eileen, okay? So a lot different than where I'm teaching, all right? Oh, boy, although I have two kids in my class who want to go into the military. And they are in ROTC, and they do come in their uniform, and I praise them highly.
This is one of Anthony's friends' houses.
Oh, my gosh, this is awesome.
They decorated. Got some fantastic. What town is this?
He lives in Wellesley.
Wellesley.
Beautiful, beautiful home. And they go all out for Halloween every year. So Anthony goes there often, and I pick him up, and they're like, we added more guys. They're all animatronics. And the last one you'll see is an
Guy in the electric
industrial.
chair is awesome.
This is awesome.
Here he comes.
Oh, my gosh. Well, that's kind of how it looks when you electrocute somebody. And they got the smoke even. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
I'll send it to you, Regina, so you can show your class.
Oh, please, could you? Because they would love it. Oh, my gosh. I will put it in my PowerPoint. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'll play this one more time. This is fantastic.
This is
gallery.
awesome. Oh, this is great. Thank you, John, for running this.
Well, Eileen took it, so good for her. Good catch. That's from Disney.
I love Halloween. I'll be home this year to hand out candy. And I'm going to a baby shower, not this weekend, but next weekend, and the theme is Halloween. You got to dress like Halloween. So I got to go get a witch's hat. Because you know how appropriate, right?
There's plenty of Halloween stores out there this time of year.
I know. I'll do it this weekend.
I saw one report, the average American spends $115 on Halloween.
Well, I buy candy.
Candy's not cheap anymore.
Oh my gosh, I know, because I went and bought candy for my office. I almost choked when I saw the price. It's not cheap anymore, you're 100% correct.
There's a lot of nice decorations around town, around Lowell.
Oh, look at that one. Really cool. Really, really cool. This is awesome. It must be great to trick or treat there. You know, you walk up, it's dark. I bet they have lights on all these things. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Anthony's so excited for Halloween because him and his friend are gonna like run it. They have like the orange vest to help lead people through.
Oh, this is cool. Very cool. Oh, they're gonna have a great time.
I got one
Thanks,
message.
Eileen.
I'm going to blow this.
I bet the neighborhood is thrilled to have all that traffic. I bet the
It's like the
neighbors are
whole
thrilled to have all
neighborhood,
that
though.
traffic. That's
They
awesome.
live in the same. They live in around the same neighborhood as Jalen Brown, I guess, too. But
Ooh.
it's all the houses have these huge displays there.
Okay.
So I was surprised.
Okay, well, you know, one starts, and then everybody else has to, you know, I can't be outdone by the next neighbor. Does Jalen Brown do a big thing too?
I didn't see anything around where he was. So he's off of a side street there.
Okay.
But I'm gonna have to have Anthony show me next time.
Oh yeah,
which one.
can you ask him for Regina, stake it out. Stake it out. That would be great. Thank you.
All right, and I sent those to you, Regina, so you
Oh,
have
I
them.
got it. Thank you, Eileen. You're awesome.
Thank you.
So federal government is still in shutdown. Is it impacting you, Regina, at work, at home?
So it has not impacted me at all. I'm very pleased. Our budget comes from the state, and so we have not had any impact at all at the sheriff's office. Now, the state may have had an impact, and I believe I read I've been reading some articles where the state has had an impact in some programming. And I imagine because the governor spent $3 billion on undocumented citizens, that it would have an impact because she did not spend that money on homeless people and veterans. So I imagine that it's going to have an impact at the state level. Now, I also have heard that sheriff's offices, all 13, have had an impact in our budget, and that we got less of a budget this year than we did in the previous year. And that is because the governor spent too much money last year.
Yeah.
And so we are feeling the crunch.
No, that's because the legislators don't believe in the migration to southern New Hampshire. They just don't believe it.
But it's true.
They don't, but they don't tell them. They don't want to believe that. Tell the Cowardly Lion. Excuse me, Vanna, if you're not too busy. Have you noticed how many people are moving to southern New Hampshire?
Yep.
Oh, well, that makes more room for the homeless to buy their houses. Okay.
I have family
Homeless don't pay
who've
taxes.
gone to southern New Hampshire. I work with a number of people who've lived in Massachusetts, who are now migrating right over to Pelham, right over to Nashua, because it's so close. I mean, I can drive to Pelham in less than 15 minutes from my house.
No sales tax.
Right.
No income tax.
No property tax, yes, but no income tax, no sales tax. Hello? And I see it with people I work with. They start out.
Tell all the kids, move to New Hampshire.
And they move to New Hampshire.
Move to New Hampshire. It's cheaper.
Yeah, absolutely.
Today, if you're a smoker, there's no other place to go to buy like a carton of cigarettes. I've seen the prices of cigarettes just skyrocket since, 2012 when I used to go out and get my mother's cigarettes. It used to be $60 a carton. Now it's up to $95 a carton for the ones.
So I go to New Hampshire to play the lottery.
95?
Yeah. And I do see people in line buying cigarettes, but I see a lot of people buying the vape cartridges. I mean, a lot of people.
Oh yeah,
Buying that.
that's the new thing. I tried to get my mother into it, but she's not having it. She likes her Pall Mall Light 100s.
Okay.
Going back to the shutdown,
Yep.
postal workers are still working,
And they're being paid.
and they're being paid.
Okay.
So,
The military's not getting paid.
military's
Right.
not getting
That does
paid.
bother me.
ATC is not getting paid.
What's ATC?
Air traffic control.
Okay. They're not being paid.
No.
But they are going to work, I understand.
Yes, except for those that are calling in sick.
Okay. And where are they generally calling in sick, Cliff? Do we have an idea?
No.
Okay.
Hollywood.
Is that true,
Traffic
John?
control? Yeah, Hollywood.
Okay. So if you're trying to get over to Florida, you're gonna have a hard time.
Hollywood.
Okay.
Hollywood, that's California.
Okay. All right.
These are Hollywood, Florida.
Yes. Yep.
So,
Aren't we? We're so happy to have the smartest person in the room.
I actually did know that.
yeah. That's what I
Where do
figured
they
you were
make
talking
movies,
about.
Cliff? Where do they make movies?
Where do they make
Hollywood.
movies?
He's not going to say
Canada.
He won't say
Yeah, you're
Hollywood.
right. Canada.
He won't
They-
say Hollywood.
They make movies in Canada. It's because it's
In
cheap.
Canada, that's right. So, Antifa, is it a real thing?
So, Antifa, which I'm going to use the word Antifa, so our listeners, watchers know that we're talking about Antifa. So, anti-fascist, yes, which the concept started in Italy with the rise of anti-fascism, long before Mussolini ever said, oh, I like that concept of anti-fascism, which is when, people in my family started to see the rise of anti-fascism and said, hey, let's get on a boat and get out of here, okay? Because we think America is a much better country than this one, because we want to get away from anti-fascism, and we like that thing called capitalism. Yes, it's a real thing. Go ask the Italians. Go ask the Germans. It's a real thing.
Okay. People are claiming it's not a real
Oh,
thing
it's
here.
a real thing. Go ask the Italians. It's a real thing. Now, my family members who escaped fascism, they're dead now. But if you were here 25, 30 years ago, they would tell you they came here because they escaped fascism. Bottom line.
See, what happens when fascism,
Pardon me, John?
my takeaway from fascism is this. You don't get your check anymore, it goes directly to a homeless guy.
Yep. You don't get anything anymore. You don't own anything. The land that you have been working. So my family owned vineyards. That's how we made our money. We made wine. We owned vineyards. And now all of a sudden, oh, we're going to take that piece of your vineyard. We're going to take that house that your family's been living in for 100 years. And oh, no. So my family started to come to the United States. My grandmother came from Messina, Sicily. I have other family that came. We actually, my father's family fought in the Crusades, and along with 5 other families.
Boy, they were great storytellers, weren't they?
Oh, yeah, yes. So
I was a tail gunner on the B-17.
well, as a reward from the Pope, they were given a big plot of land. They put a rock fence around it, and they called the village Ardea. So we have our own nice little village. We have our own church. We have our own cemetery, so our family really had a wonderful life until the rise of fascism.
We got Ralph on the phone.
Hey, Ralph. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Very well, very well.
I'm glad to hear you. How's things?
I think the last time we spoke, Regina, you were inquiring about the basilica.
Yes. Yes.
Everything went fine.
Oh, I'm so glad. Can you tell people why I was inquiring about the basilica?
No.
Okay.
Okay. So Ralph called in because he and I had talked earlier in the week. Ralph Hogan, great little technical high school committee. Talk about Ed Kennedy, who was buried on Wednesday, our state senator who passed away. Very sad young man, only 73.
Very young. That's way young.
Yeah. But Ralph, how do you remember Ed Kennedy?
Well, I've known him for quite a while. I mean, we're the same age. He was a good guy. I mean,
Yes.
some folks, nobody agrees with everybody in politics and sports, but in the big picture, he was just a regular guy. I mean, he had a real passion for youth sports and, high school sports, education. He was big on the environment and hiked often. I mean, he was 4,000 footer, meaning he's climbed every major mountain in New England. And it's not a small feat. Katahdin is, I don't know the exact height, but it's quite the trek. And, he's just a well-rounded guy. I mean, for the average Lowellian, I should think one of the biggest things he's been able to put together was getting a $100 million bond issue to get the bridge started.
Yes.
Without that and the seed money for design and everything else, all the other federal and other monies wouldn't have fallen into place, and we've got to a point where they're going to break ground pretty soon and, actually see cranes over there putting up the bridge. It's a shame that he didn't see the final product.
I like the fact that he wasn't one of these hardline wacko Democrats and everybody else is a fascist guy. On 22 May, I was his honoree down at the State House where they honored veterans. 200 veterans were nominated by state senators and state representatives. And Ed Kennedy honored me by nominating me for this honor. I got to shake hands with the governor. To me, it was a big deal to be down there with the sacred cod and be in the chamber. So, to me, that's the kind of guy, he's about all of us, not just about some of us.
Yeah, good morning, Ralph. This is Eileen Delrossi. How are you?
I am well, my dear.
When I first was on the school committee or a little time into it, I wanted to be on the little high school building committee because I figured my son will be going there and I'm invested in the future. It didn't really pan out, now for who is, but I remember him being so caring about, like, making sure I had all the information, and I even think we did a quick Zoom to talk about it, and it was right after a surgery he had. You could tell that he definitely bled Lowell and wanted what was best for Lowell. I went to the funeral mass, and his cousin or his friend, I don't know who it was joking about the Rourke Bridge and saying how hopefully he'd see it be created before he died. And unfortunately, he didn't. But, I mean, you could see how invested he was. All right, I'm done now.
I think that would be Frank Heslin, and Frank went on many treks up and down the mountains. They were very, very close.
Oh, great picture, John.
Ralph sent these.
So, Ralph, we're showing some pictures now. You're in them with Senator Kennedy, and Bill Samaras is there.
Sakari Chow.
Sakari Chow. Yep.
That was the trip to Kalamata, Greece.
Okay.
And let me tell you, they wore us out. I mean, we walked all over Athens. We got more done in a few days than most people do in a week touring Greece.
Incredible.
But, that was a great trip. Well received by the Greek government and the colleges, the university over there. They really liked the idea of exchange of students and so on and so forth. And Ed was big on education.
Yes.
As Eileen mentioned, he was big on high school sports. I can recall asking him for a $25 donation for the lacrosse at Old Catholic, the girls' lacrosse team. My niece comes back and says, "Oh, Mr. Kennedy sent $100." I mean,
that was it. That was Ed.
He went over and above
when
it came to kids.
So, what was the nature of the trip? So that Ralph, explain what Senator Kennedy was helping to do.
City of Lowell and Kalamata exchange.
Awesome.
A group of businessmen in Lowell and Greece underwrote some of the project when they came to Lowell, and it was to exchange ideas and the possibility of education being Greek students coming to Lowell, the university, UMass, and Middlesex Community College, and kids from the college, Middlesex, going over to Kalamata.
That's awesome.
To the University of Peloponnese.
That kind of exchange
they
is
have some
wonderful.
Sort of articulation agreement to that effect.
Oh, thank you, Ralph, for making that happen.
So, Ralph, you made a comment
I was a participant, based on, I wasn't leading the parade. It was Mayor Chow and Eddie and Judy, who's the dean at Middlesex.
Right.
I was just blessed to carry the handbag.
Well, thank you for carrying the handbag. I appreciate it.
So, Ralph, you said something about it seemed like a lot of police turned out for the funeral.
Oh, it was.
Well, the
I don't know
sheriff's
how
office
John
had a
afforded all
contingency
those
there.
police cars.
The sheriff's office did have an honor guard there. Senator Kennedy did a great. He did a great deal for the city of Lowell. He did a great deal for the area, for the cities and towns that he represented. and Sheriff Katusian sent a contingent from the Honor Guard for the wake and the funeral.
It was beautiful.
Yes, they did a very nice job. When I went to the wake, I did see 4 members of our Honor Guard who were there. And the next day, I did see a member of our Honor Guard showed me a photo when the governor went to Senator Kennedy's wake. The governor said to our Honor Guard, "Hey guys, would you like to take a picture with me?" And who's going to say no to that? They were all lined up, and somebody from John McDonough's staff took a photo of I think it was 5 of our Honor Guard with the governor. It was very nice.
Oh, it was a very nice, unbelievable. I mean, Regina, you might, be able to expound upon this. I think it's telling that the entire Senate got in a bus and came to Lowell.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I was not there for that, but I was told about it. I think it's very telling because it's not an easy ride for some people, right, Ralph? But
No.
it's telling about the fact of what Eddie meant to them. And I'm saying Eddie because it wasn't Senator Kennedy that brought them to Lowell. It was Eddie who brought them to Lowell. And when I got in the wake line, what I said to Susan was, he was wonderful in the fact that he shared ideas, he shared knowledge, and that's what he did at the Senate. Hey, you need to get something done? Well, let me go talk to so-and-so, because I have a good relationship with him, and let me see if I can help you put that deal together. And that was Ed. Ed was, and that's how you get stuff done. And that's why everybody got on the bus and came to Lowell, because they recognized that the person who got stuff done just passed. And that you don't see a whole lot of people who make things happen very quietly, that doesn't need a lot of credit, doesn't need a lot of patting on the back, just makes things happen. So I said to Susan, he was a man for me who was so incredibly willing to share his knowledge. Didn't need the credit, didn't need the praise, but hey, Regina, this is how, you should make it happen. This is who you should talk to. This is what you should do. And he was always right. He was always right. So, Ralph, that's why those senators got on the bus and came to Lowell. Because that's the kind of person he was.
And just to add a bit, Ed had a great staff.
Yes.
And it was present and working during the funeral and wake.
Yes.
But Ed knew that he wasn't a one-man show, that the staff was very important to him, and they were very close to him. And Dominic Alley and
Patty
Jimmy,
Kerwin.
James Otis, and Patty.
Patty Kerwin, she ran
Kerwin
that show.
Celtic.
Patty Kerwin knows politics like no one else knows politics. Her family's been in politics 50 years, right? Patty Kerwin, his chief of staff, she really knew how to, oh, what a great photo, John, thank you. Those are members of the Middlesex Sheriff's Office Honor Guard.
Laura.
Oh, thank you, Ben, appreciate that. What a great, oh, and there's our Middlesex Sheriff's Office Honor Guard with the governor. What a great photo, I appreciate you putting that up. Thank you very much, John, thank you. But
Speaking of his staff, is it true Dominic drove the hearse,
so,
John?
John, here's how that came about. It was
He was at
Charlene.
his side all the time.
It was Charlene who said, she texted me and she said, would it be too soon, because Dominic Lay was Senator Kennedy's driver, among other things. And Charlene said, would it be too soon to ask if Dominic could drive the senator one last time and drive the hearse one last time for Eddie as his final journey? And we were talking about it, and I mentioned it to Judy the night of the wake, And Judy must have mentioned it to John, and the next thing you know, yes, Dominic drove Senator Kennedy on his last final journey. And when I say to you, Dominic was thrilled, I cannot say it enough. He will never, ever forget that. And
I
so
love
thank you,
that,
Charlene.
George. I love that.
She put that together. She planted the seed, but it's actually John McDonough that allowed it to happen. And it was just, it was wonderful. Dominic's never going to forget that for the rest of his life.
So we were joined by Dennis Galvin, just snuck
Dennis.
into the table. Was Ed Kennedy your senator also, or are you too far west?
No, this is
Use your
shocking news.
microphone.
That Kennedy passed away?
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
My goodness. That's the first, very sorry to
Yes.
hear that.
Yeah.
So now there's, obviously there's some sort of an open seat there? There's-
So what will happen is,
We'll start talking about that on Monday.
okay,
No, we won't. Tuesday.
But it's nice to have the smarties guy.
there'll be a special election. The
You
governor will
told
have a
me
special-
no show
okay.
on Monday.
Let's angry about that.
How old a fellow was he?
73.
Angry.
Oh, wow.
73.
Angry.
That's a shame. It's too bad.
Speaking of angry,
Very sorry to hear it.
I'm a little miffed on behalf of Ed Kennedy. The governor ordered flags at half-staff. And I happened to drive by Chelmsford City Hall, and there they were, looking half-staff. Very nice. But a lot of places in Lowell, like Shed Park, Kittredge Park, Lincoln School, whatever that micro park is by the Portuguese radio station, flags were at full staff. The courthouse, the state courthouse, there we are.
Oh, beautiful, John, thank you.
Yeah, Maurice Winnie put this on Facebook.
Oh, how nice, thank you, Marie.
There's a casket coming out of the church, so.
Okay.
Cliff, I got to buzz out, but I must say that the McDonough boys did a fabulous job.
Yes.
That was not an ordinary situation with all those dignitaries showing up. But John,
Ralph.
I take my hat off to you.
Thank you. I'll pass it on to my sons. Thank you. Thanks very much.
Thank you for calling in, Ralph.
Thanks, Ralph, take care.
Take care.
Thanks, Ralph. Appreciate it.
So, I'd like to introduce Dennis Galvin, who is a retired state trooper major and the head of Maple. Let me see if I get this straight. Massachusetts Association of Professional Law Enforcement.
That's correct. You got it.
So, out there trying to make the police better. And you live in, I won't say Westford, but that's not right.
Yeah. That's what-
You live in Westford,
Yes, I do.
okay.
Can I ask you, Dennis? Good morning, Dennis. This is Eileen Delrossi. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Trooper Proctor, his hearing's coming up soon. I think it's the 20th, 21st. Do you have any ideas of what's going to happen with that?
I absolutely have no idea what's going to happen. I would assume that, I would expect that they'll present the case and then there'll be a decision made. I think he's going to present has he already presented his case?
Yes, he has.
All right, so,
No. The state presented their case.
okay,
about,
yeah, that's right. So they're waiting to hear,
This is his turn to
Right.
present theirs. His.
Yeah, so he'll make an appeal, he'll offer arguments to indicate that his termination was wrong, and that the Civil Service Commission will make its decision.
So, tell me what arguments he'll make. So here's what the reasons he was fired. He made improper statements regarding the defendant. He shared some of those statements with people who were not law enforcement, for instance, his sister-in-law. He also shared those statements with law enforcement who were not investigating the case. He also made a statement that she should kill herself. Make it easy on us. So now he's going to go before a tribunal. He's going to ask for his job back. So educate me, please. Help me understand, what will his argument be before the tribunal to help him get his job back?
Okay, so his primary argument that he can make is that when he made his statements, he assumed that he was within privacy. In other words, he thought he had an expectation of privacy. So, that argument is obviously vulnerable to attack itself. So what they're going to be looking at is, the bottom line is they'll be looking at the regulations of the department that pertain to what his responsibilities are with regards to the maintenance of confidential information. That's going to be one big thing they'll be looking at, whether or not he was expected to keep that information confidential and not share it with anybody, regardless of what the situation is. The second will be, did his supervision make it clear to him that he was required to keep that information confidential, and there's some indication that they were participants in this and that they didn't receive the same termination that he did. So he has that argument to make. And then I think I think those are the two big arguments that he can make, is that, number one, he wasn't aware of the fact that he was making a public statement. And number two was whether or not there was sufficient regulatory requirements on his behalf that, despite the fact that he made the statements, was he aware of the fact, and did they train him not to do that? That's the big thing.
Oh, so Dennis, you also just mentioned a very interesting word. And at the interesting word you just mentioned, did they train him to know that?
Yeah.
Because that's when a lot of people in government, law enforcement, get fired. What they use is, I was not trained to
That's right.
know that.
That's
So
right.
can you explain to people what that means? Because that is the most important word.
Well, it's an interesting story behind it, because it actually goes back to a case involving another state police officer many years ago, who I happen to know. It was the case is Dobos versus Driscoll, and the situation was such that the trooper violated any particular individual's rights, and the defendant, or the person who was violated, the victim, sued the state police on the basis that they had an obligation to be able to make sure that they regulated and trained their personnel. And the state police took the position that he was acting on his own, has no reflection on us.
Okay.
But the Supreme Judicial Court in Massachusetts ruled that no. If a police officer is acting improperly, that officer, it's the department's responsibility to deal with that officer and to demonstrate that they have made attempts to try to change and modify that officer's behavior. If they haven't done that, then they're liable for the infraction, or at least part of it.
So this is very interesting. So if the state police can show that they attempted to modify Proctor's behavior, and he continued to do what he did, then the Proctor's done.
They have a defense. They have a defense, yes.
Okay, the Proctor's done. Now, let me ask another question. So we know Karen Reed is going to sue.
Yep.
And she might use the same arguments, lack of training.
Yep.
So once the state police release Proctor because he violated those rules, what's Karen Reed's potential to win her lawsuit now against Proctor and the state police?
Well, she has a pretty rich field, because there was evidence that there was lack of supervisory oversight, and not only that, some of the supervisors participated in receiving the information from Proctor and never said to him, you have to stop that, all right?
Yes, okay.
So a lot of this there is a major issue of police oversight involved in the Karen Reed case. Major issues. And, the state police the state police have failed to adjust in many ways, to modern practices with regards to responsibility and supervisory for personnel, and you're going to see that in the suit. I think that's what will come out.
So just last week, an interesting thing happened. John O'Brien's niece sued Karen Reed for emotional distress. And the suit was, she said, the emotional distress was that the car hit my uncle and he was killed. And the court dismissed the suit and said, no, because you were not present when the car hit John O'Brien, therefore you did not suffer any emotional distress. So we're going to dismiss that suit. Well, John O'Brien's mother, father, and other members of the family also have sued for the same reasons. So do you think those will also be tossed out of court?
Well, obviously, if there's a precedent that was set in one case, it would probably extend to the other ones as well.
Okay.
That would be my guess. But unless there's certain features that they can bring out that separate them from the other case, most likely it'll follow the same process.
Okay, thank you.
It seems weird, though, that you had to be present to suffer emotional distress.
And that's what the court did say when they announced their verdict. She was not present, therefore she suffered no emotional distress.
Right, and I think the court's precedent overall on that, from watching the law tubers, is that when anybody passes away that's close to you, everyone suffers emotional distress. It's whether or not, like, where you were or, like, what you observed. But I also have a question for Dennis in regards to Proctor, and could the state then, the Mass State Police, use where you said there was major oversight, in the whole case, could they use his words from the Matt Gutman interview that, I guess if I knew what was going to happen, I could have looked at a few more cars? Could they use that in turn against him?
Can you repeat that statement? What was the actual statement he made?
So Matt Gutman had asked them, do you think, basically you did a good job? Do you think you did a thorough investigation? And he basically said, I guess if I knew what was going to happen, then I guess I would have looked at a few more cars.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. He's sort of implying that, at least the statement that you're saying, I haven't heard the statement from him directly, but what you just implied is that somehow he didn't do a complete job, and that's obviously going to be something for discussion and for examination.
We're picking your brain this morning, Dennis.
That's okay. I'm glad there's a brain to pick.
Thank you, we appreciate it. Good question, Eileen.
So, how are you, Dennis?
Good. How are you?
Good?
All well with you and Martha and everything?
Yeah, Martha's, she's made it to the second floor a couple times.
No, that's good.
Hey,
Very
that's
good.
wonderful.
We've been out to Mass, out to dinner, so,
Nice.
See, prayers
That's
do
awesome.
work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can you tell me, Dennis, can you give me again the name of your organization and tell me what they do?
Sure. It's the Massachusetts Association for Professional Law Enforcement.
Okay.
And it's an organization of former, current, and retired law enforcement personnel and criminal justice educators who kind of come together, who are very concerned about the status and the public perception of policing in this Commonwealth. And our intention is to try to improve the perception of the police and to try to upscale their ability to serve, both with quality and with professionalism.
Okay.
So we're going to go for a break. The Dawn Patrol is about to land, and we'll be coming back as a City Life show with LTC.
only 17 years old.
Oh, that's good. That's good, though. That's
conservative.
very important that you have a
Welcome
class
to
like that.
the Dawn Patrol. I'm Cliff Krieger, your host. My co-host Eileen Delrossi. How are you, Eileen?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
Good. We have with us Regina Faticanti,
Morning.
who's going to have to go off to work in about a half hour.
Actually, I took the day off.
Oh, you did? You're with us
did.
a whole hour.
I did take the day off.
Just
And,
for you, Craig.
We have Dennis Galvin as a guest. Dennis is from retired state trooper he's the president of Maple, Massachusetts Association for Professional Law Enforcement. And of course, we have the Commander-in-Chief, John McDonough, over.
Morning. A little
Operating
chilly out there this
Control.
morning, wouldn't you say, Dennis?
It is. It's a bit brisk.
Dennis just slid it on the ice.
Not that bad yet.
So, on the Dawn Patrol, we talked about Senator Ed Kennedy passing away. He was buried on Wednesday.
That's shocking.
Yeah.
Very sad.
And we talked about the government shutdown, which I don't see ending anytime soon.
Can we go back to that? Because I actually looked at the email you sent me,
Yeah.
and I've made some notes. And so one of the things that is holding up the budget is that the Dems want transgender surgery for minors, an increase in Obamacare, and free health care for illegals. And here's what I want. How about some more health care for veterans? That's what I would like. I'd like more health care for veterans. I would like more housing for veterans. That's what I would really like. And here's my concern with people with people who are transgender. When you are 18, go do whatever you want.
Yep.
But when you are a minor, your hormones are everywhere. Your brain is not yet fully formed. Teach sociology, so I'm coming at you from that perspective. Your brain is not formed, especially men, till you're 22 years old.
There's some argument that they're
Yeah,
never
that's
formed.
right, exactly. Thank you, Dennis. Maybe we'll go to 25, okay? But your brain is not yet formed. Your hormones are running amok, and I don't think you should be having any kind of transgender surgery or putting any type of progesterone or testosterone in your body until you come out of puberty and your hormones settle down and you figure out what's going on. And then you take a breath and you make some decisions. But there are people now who are attempting to have, who did have surgery and are attempting now reversal. And are mad that doctors said, yeah, let's put
Mass
one
Health
tonight.
is paying for all of it.
Right. Let's put you under the knife. And they're angry that people pushed them instead of saying, whoa, let's hold on. Because in this country, it used to be you had to spend a year in intensive psychotherapy, and you had to dress as the sex you wanted to assume. And we don't do that anymore. And so I'm very against pushing young people into something they may absolutely not be ready for. I'm concerned about it.
And rightfully so.
And I'm concerned
Rightfully
that once, because that's a decision that's really
Well,
hard to
how are we
come
going
back
to vote this fall?
on. Pardon me, John?
How are you going to vote in November?
Vote for what?
Well, you don't like what's going on. How are you going to vote?
Well, I'm not going to vote for it. So when you say you
Well,
mean?
we got characters out there that think this is fantastic.
Yes.
Who are running for local office. I'm trying to get them into, for an interview. It's a little reluctant, but I'd like to know why you're for.
And I don't
Second change for,
I don't vote for those people. And
Well,
sometimes,
how would you know who is?
sometimes I
You know what I'm
don't,
talking about?
I might know. You want to say?
Not gonna say unless he says it here.
So sometimes I leave it blank
It's good.
because I just can't bring myself to do
How about
it.
you, Cliff? You're gonna vote for this fall? The candidate that wants this to happen?
If I knew who it was, I would probably look at the opposition, yes. Because I agree with Regina, she's right on. We don't let people drink until they're 21. We let them vote at 18.
Let me ask you, Three Musketeers, why is it that the media ignores these questions? When it comes to the state rep races next year, the state senate races next year, why don't they ask these questions of the candidates?
I think the media is very ultra-liberal. The media is also
Excuse me.
incredibly socialist.
I object.
Okay, go ahead. Tell me.
Progressive.
Okay, so the media is
Let's not-
progressive.
Let's not slur the liberals in the world.
That's right, because liberal, so I used to be a liberal, so liberal's not a bad word, so you are correct, Cliff. So
Yeah.
let me take that back. The progressives, Dennis, what do you think?
Well, I think to John's question, I think the song that Bob Dylan's famous song, the answer is "Blowing in the Wind," kind of comes to mind.
Nice.
Comes to mind. I mean, let's face it. Nobody here would deny the fact that there's a real, I guess you could say, consternation and strife going out in the society today politically. I mean, there's people that want to make significant changes to the whole theory of our whole theory of government and society. And I for one tend to support the traditional way of doing things. I think this country is a great country, and I think it's worth saving. So my positions and my vote would be aligned with those people who are willing to stand up for that.
I'm with Dennis. I'm with Dennis.
Thank you. I'm
It's
flattered.
It's not that we haven't had transgender. Heck, when I was 8 or 10 years old, I
Absolutely.
knew that a former soldier had gone to Scandinavia and gotten a sex change operation.
But that person was an adult.
An adult.
They were an adult. They were not 15 years old.
Yeah, but these issues have all been politicized. That's the whole
Right.
problem. There's active individuals out there trying to politicize and mobilize these various groups, not just transgender, but other groups, based on grievances and things like that. And they're trying to direct it at the society. So people have to be astute as to what's going on. They have to understand what is the real motive behind people's activities. There's nobody here who wants to hurt anybody. I don't have any antagonism towards anybody's
Right.
issues about their working out their gender identity. That's something that they have to do themselves. But
And when you speak to people who are transgender, truly transgender, they will say to you, hey, listen, I knew since I was a little kid.
yeah, I've
And
had
when
that
I-
experience.
And then when I grew
Yeah.
up, this is the decision I made.
Yep.
I am so incredibly respectful of that. And then they also say, do you think I really want this? Do you think this is how I wanted to live? Do you think this is how I wanted to grow up? No, because it's not easy. Not easy.
No, that's true. I've known that for a fact, yes.
It's not easy. But I've known since I was a kid. So let's let children grow up, and let's let them come to adulthood. And when they become adults, let's support their decisions. 100%.
Life-changing decision.
Life-changing decisions, life-altering decisions, but as adults. Let's support their decisions as adults.
Seems reasonable.
So, but Cliff, you had something, now that Dennis is here, I want to talk about this, because he can help educate me further. Cliff, you had something about cashless bail. And so, Dennis, educate me more about cashless bail, because Massachusetts has cashless bail. New York has cashless bail. And this is a reason why there's so many people out on the street and not in jail waiting trial.
Yeah, well,
Can you help us understand
yeah,
that?
there's a lot of different things going on. First of all, the idea of bail originally was established to, as a means of ensuring a defendant's appearance at court. I mean, that's exactly what the object was. And that was the sole purpose of it. But as time, progressed, and there became increasing problems with serious violence, there was another aspect to it, which was the security of people. In other words, if somebody committed a particularly heinous crime, then there was a question of security of the community, and the judge, through legislation that had been passed over the last maybe 50 years or so, the judges have been given the opportunity or the authority to examine that question when they decide whether or not they want to impose bail or not bail. Bail means that they can release you, all right, for trial. And one of the circumstances, if you won't pay the bail or put the money down, they're not going to release you because it appears you won't show up. But then the second thing they can do is they can also hold you if they think that you're a threat to the community. So those are the two aspects, the authority of the judge. In recent years, the progressive left has attacked the idea of bail. And they've attacked it on the idea of a couple of reasons. Number one is that it's basically it's an imposition against people who have no means, that they can't make the bail. And then the other one is I think in some cases they just don't think it's proper. They don't believe that there should be bail at all, and I think that's a serious mistake. So those are the things
innocent
that have gone
until
on.
proven guilty, correct?
You're innocent until proven guilty, yes.
So why should you be held?
Because at the time of the case, there's probable cause or there's sufficient facts to suspect that you could possibly go out and continue hurting individuals, which is a legitimate thing. And there's always been a distinction, and the court observes the distinction between that security ruling and your status of presumption in court at trial.
So
There's that young Ukrainian immigrant who got knifed
right.
by a guy that had been released
Right.
40 times.
So I'm glad you brought that up because that's where I was going. So Dennis raised a good issue. So we keep people should, if they've committed a violent crime, they should never be released on bail, because my concern is that they're going to go back out like the situation Cliff's talking about and commit another violent crime. People who have severe mental health issues, who are not taking medication, and with no expectation to continue taking medication, should not be released, because I'm concerned they're going to commit the same violent crime. Like the individual who killed that Ukrainian immigrant, 19 violent crimes on their record, right? And what did he say to his sister when he was on the phone with her? Yeah, I got her. No understanding that what he did was wrong.
Yeah. Well,
No,
we've examined, our organization has examined this issue to some extent. And, we were talking about the responsibility of law enforcement management to supervise situations. Massachusetts, I think, has a serious problem with mental health services.
Yes, it does.
There's a philosophy within the service that does not want to touch what they would call involuntary care. All right, and Massachusetts is one of the few
Right.
states in this country that does not address the question of involuntary care. And I think our history with regard to mental health treatment since the Dukakis administration, all the way up till now, has been scandalous, absolutely irresponsible, and people like this individual that killed the person in Ukraine. The Ukrainian immigrant. I'm not sure. I haven't examined them, but it sounds as though they were potentially schizophrenic or something like that. Well, those are people who should be outside of the entire system. They should be under care.
Right.
And I think we have a mental health community that wants to wash its hands to it and transfer it over to the corrections department and the police department.
It's
And if you're
interesting.
working at the jail,
So
I
that's-
think you know what I'm talking
That's,
about.
I was going there, I was going to say to you, Dennis, the new mental health facility is jail.
Yes, you're right, and that's
No.
an abuse.
No.
Yes,
no,
it is, Cliff.
because-
Trust me.
Because
Trust
it
me.
used to be, and thanks to judges, it isn't anymore.
but
Your
now-
population is down to what, 50%?
So it's down to like 785, whereas we can hold 2,001. But the cashless bail has brought us down to 785. Now,
This came up twice in the newspapers this morning. There's an article in the Sun, maybe it's an editorial, and there's an article in the Globe. John had his hand up, though, like.
And Cliff,
John?
rather than chastising the judges because they make the decision, presentation is everything. And we have lousy lawyers who work for the state of Massachusetts. And what happens to them when they lose a case? Nothing. They go, hey, we're not working Monday, right? That's their attitude. And I chastise the unions in Massachusetts and the state that excellence is not part of anything. It's how much more time can I get off of my members, and the hell with the public. And we have a union problem in Massachusetts, and we have a really bad legal system where we hire flunky lawyers to work for our government. That's why we have crappy lawyers, because the judge has to make his or her judgment on the facts presented. And if you don't present the facts to the judge, you're going to lose. I'm done.
So,
okay.
Tuesday, there was a riot down on Boston Common.
Oh, it was horrible.
And a bunch of people were arrested. And they set
19.
bail, $10,000, $7,500 for various offenders who were all offended that bail had been set for them. But here was a case where the government was able to get its act together and extract bail from these people as a way of making them show up. And in my mind, bail, rich people, middle-class people, if you put them out on bail, they are likely to show up because that's where they are in the culture. And some of those people who are on the bottom side of society, their respect for society is pretty limited, and therefore their respect for the court system is pretty limited, and they're not likely to show up. So I think that we have to keep that part of the culture in mind.
Like Dennis said, it was originated to make them go to trial.
Right.
That's what bail's all about.
Yeah, yep.
No, it's to save us money. We don't have to provide room and board for people before we try them and find them guilty.
Well, that's part of it too. I mean,
Yes.
that's part of it too. But I think Mayor Wool was a very interesting political person to watch because she seems to be caught in the middle of all these different pressures. All right, she has a particular constituent that she needs to service. But then she's also finding herself continuously up against the real pressures of managing a city, which involves order maintenance, which is a big problem for a lot of progressives. They don't believe in it. And
Don't believe in what? Say it again?
order maintenance is
Maintaining the social order.
well, no, it's a little bit more specific than that. For example, if you live in town here, like in Lowell, and there's a place that you like to go buy your groceries, or you like to stop down and pick up, maybe a newspaper or a quick glass of milk or something like that, a bottle of milk, and you find out you're inundated by individuals who are costing you for money, asking you for money. Some people may be, urinating and defecating in the street.
Like a Madison Cass area.
Right. That's an order maintenance issue, and there's a strong opinion out there today that those issues, that lack of order maintenance, and the allowance of that type of conduct actually helps breed criminal activity.
Absolutely.
Because it sends a message.
Yes.
First of all, people who are law-abiding people withdraw from the areas where that's
Yes.
going on. That opens up the people who are there, who are generally, maybe suffering from mental illness and things like that. They now are vulnerable to criminal activity or criminal elements that want to prey on them.
So
And,
your drug dealers go there, your prostitutes go
Yeah.
there, your junkies go there, the homeless go there, and good people don't go there.
Yeah, and what happens is you abandon that space,
Right.
and that space is
Well, I'm
now.
glad you guys brought this up,
What? Go ahead.
because the Lowell Law Office has drafted regulations to change our policy,
City of Lowell Law Office?
City of Lowell Law Office.
Okay, good. I got a better idea. When you're done, I have to do the announcements.
About how we serve alcohol. Lowell has a rule, if you're gonna serve alcohol, you have to be a restaurant.
So you
You
must
can't
serve
have a
food.
bar. You can't just be set up to serve alcohol. And as a result, children are in these restaurants, and also sometimes 18, 19, 20-year-olds wander in and try and cage a drink, and they're not properly ID'd, or they've got a false ID. So the law office wanted to fix this by saying, oh, we're going to have bars and only 21-year-olds, or they said 18-year-olds. It's kind of confusing. And that's going to change society. That's going to change our culture here in Lowell. And the License Commission's going to have a public hearing on this on Thursday, the 30th of October, at 6 p.m. in the council chamber. So this is a chance for citizens, residents to come and express their opinion at no expense.
Cliff, can we
So-
email our response to you? Will it hold up? Do I have to go to this meeting? I can Zoom, I understand.
So,
Yeah.
let me tell you
I'm
about
going
a
to talk
bar.
about the announcements after Cliff answers my question.
Yeah, you can email me and I'll present that to the group, but what was Regina gonna say?
There's
No,
there's a bar in Boston that, because they have the same rule in Boston. I walk in, because I gave my students a tour of all the places where Whitey Bulger had killed people. I was teaching,
Wait,
I
we're
was
going to
teaching
come
a
back to
class.
this. We're going to come back
He
to
had a
this
big
issue.
pi-
We're going to come back to this issue.
Okay,
The announcements today are, it's the People's State House Rally, October 15th, at the Boston State House steps, rain or shine, to honor the legislature, access public records, reform legislative stipends. What are they hiding? Learn more, thepeoplesstatehouse.com. They have a QR code in here. You take your phone.
I like
on
Diana
your pocket.
Desaglio.
Oh, yeah, she's just good.
She's
She's
great.
Zero in on this.
she's
Office in
got political life in her.
Diana Desaglio, she's going to be there.
In an otherwise dead area.
Okay, so moving right along, we're going to have the Chelmsford Dog Park Trunk or Treat, Saturday, October 16th. Saturday, October 18th, 12 to 2 p.m., 52 Richardson Road, $5 donation per trunk. This is pretty cool. You dress your dog up for Halloween. Free entry for all and the whole family. Halloween. Chelmsford Dog Alliance presents October 18th, 11 to 2 p.m. Costume contest, pumpkin decorating, games, prizes, all kinds of good stuff. So it's at 52 Richardson Road in North Chelmsford. St. Joseph the Worker Shrine. Father Ron Mayer, OMI of St. Joseph the Worker Shrine, to contemplate on aging and how we can lead fulfilling lives as senior citizen. What is God's plan for those over 60? They're going to have a mass, all kinds of things happening, and this is going to be Tuesday, October 21st, at the Shrine, downtown Lowell. It's, don't have an address there. Yeah, 37 Lee Street, sorry. Right here, 37 Lee Street, if you want to go to this mass. And moving right along, neighborhood meetings, A lot of them don't tell you where it's going to be, but there's your neighborhood meeting. So if you want to take a picture of this slide, you can find out where your neighborhood meeting is. If your neighborhood meeting isn't listed here, please be in touch with the Lowell Police, and they'll be happy to put it out there. Eric Gitch is having a party Thursday, October 16th, hosted by Ryan Ferreira. It's going to be at the Wappin Weft, 197 Market Street in downtown Lowell at 5:30 p.m. Donations start at $25 and go up. This is the breakfast at the Tewksbury Senior Center on Sunday, October 26th, 8:30 to noon. It's delicious time, only $10. All you can, fantastic. You're going to leave that place full. So I know I'll be there. Plenty of parking behind the building. Moving right along, today is October 10th. So if you go out to Chesford Senior Center and you're 60 years old, they're going to have baked fish. And if you're over 60, you can go to Drake at Senior Center and get stuffed shells with marinara sauce. And lovely Lowell, they're going to have a turkey dinner today. Also, Lowell Senior Center has lunch 7 days a week. So Saturday they got Swedish meatballs, Sunday they got chicken quesadilla. And Monday, it's a holiday, they're closed. Moving right along for Tewksbury, they're going to have stuffed shells, marinara sauce as well. And that's all my announcements. Back over to you, Cliff. Thank you for your patience.
So Regina, you were conducting the Richard Howe tour of...
No, not a Richard Howe tour at all, because he would not know this route. I'm teaching a class, and I was using a book that was written about crime in South Boston.
Oh, yeah.
So I was giving my class a tour, and some Boston police officers who worked in that area were helping me out. So we were looking at all the places where Whitey Bulger had either killed someone or left a corpse. And then we ended up at this tavern.
Tinian Beach.
Yes, where we may have hoisted a brew. And the bar had a big jar of eggs in vinegar, boiled eggs in vinegar. And that's because Boston had the same rule. You had to serve food if you were serving alcohol. And they considered the boiled eggs food. And I thought, what a clever thing to do. And only in South Boston would you see something like that. So, there are ways to get around those rules. And that tavern figured out a way to get around the rule. And places in Lowell will figure out a way to get around the rule. Now explain to me why they even came up with the need for the rule.
We'd had a couple of cases of underage drinkers who had presented IDs that were fake and had not been detected until the police showed up and rechecked the IDs. And so someone said, well, how can we fix this? And I'm of the thought that the fix may be the cure may be worse than the problem. I think we have a pretty decent system. Yeah, we have to keep after the IDs, but we haven't had any really rambunctious activity in bars in a couple of years.
But do they have a device
And
you can check the ID?
you're only dealing with 50% of the problem. I mean, the other problem is the marijuana, okay? And I think, and I would point to, I don't know if you've been in Fitchburg recently, but Fitchburg has like 7 or 8 manufacturing centers for marijuana. When I grew up in Brockton. When I woke up in the morning, I could smell leather, from the shoe factories and all that. If you wake up in Fitchburg tonight, you smell marijuana.
Okay,
all over the place.
Not good.
No, it's not good.
Not good.
Well, 44% of auto fatalities have TCP, whatever that is.
Yeah, well, the other problem you have is they're allowed to the legislature backed away from a law that was proposed 2 or 3 years ago that would make any possession of marijuana outside of a sealed container a crime. In other words, you couldn't have any open marijuana within a vehicle. They don't do that. I've stood on street corners in Fitchburg and watched people pass by smoking marijuana all over the place. I mean, now I don't know if that's the same situation here in Lowell, but I can tell you that in my experiences in Fitchburg, it was pretty bad.
So when I drive to work, I take a right to go over the Bridge Street Bridge. On many mornings, there's a person on my left who cracks the window a little bit, and they're going straight, and there they are, smoking a joint on their way to work.
Yeah, that's not good.
And I think to myself, I wonder where you work, because I'm glad I don't work with you.
No, you're under the influence.
Right, you're absolutely under the influence.
Yeah.
And I can smell it with my window up. And so I'm thinking to myself, you're going to work impaired.
Yeah. You're
Absolutely,
threatening everybody
right.
on the road as well,
Absolutely,
right?
right, thank you. And you're endangering everybody on the road.
Yeah.
And that is a serious problem. And can you tell me why we haven't come up with a way to figure out if somebody's high while they're driving? I mean, there has to be a way to figure it out. Why haven't we done it yet?
Well, a couple of things to that. Tucson, Arizona, for example, allows, this is sort of a little bit forward in this, but they allow, there are certain officers who are certified to draw blood. So in other words, if you get arrested for impairment, like you would with a breathalyzer, in Arizona, they can take blood from you.
Okay.
Okay? If you refuse the blood test, it's the same thing as refusing a breathalyzer, you lose your license for a period of time. You can't drive. But I don't think, and I think the entire Massachusetts regulatory system for marijuana is completely disorganized right now. I mean, the Cannabis Commission is having its controversies
I
and everything
know.
else. And, I think until this is all straightened out, that's the greater threat. I think it edges out. Alcohol's always been a big threat here, always been a big threat. But I think now you've added and compounded it with the marijuana.
Okay, thank you.
I'm talking about driving when I say threat.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think it's a threat when people are smoking a marijuana and driving.
Yeah.
So, I want to switch to the Democrats' favorite politician to hate, Donald Trump.
Okay?
He's sending the National Guard into Chicago,
Yes.
and judges are ruling he can't do it. But my impression is he did that in Washington, D.C., and even the mayor thanked him,
Right,
Muriel Bowser.
right. Because
So-
it was safe to
and
go to
she's
dinner.
She's a Democrat.
Right,
It's a political war. It's party politics. And why do we subsidize this? A judge that decides with a party should be fired. Just that simple. Bye-bye, butterfly.
I would like to agree with, I do agree with John. Why is the judge doing this? Well, because they are trying to make a name for themselves, and they're trying to appear relevant,
Yeah.
right?
And they're afraid that Donald Trump
But they were
is
political
the
appointees too. They
reincarnation.
didn't
are-
want political.
right, they're
yeah.
also political appointees.
From the opposite side.
Right,
From the
exactly.
opposite
And
side.
they need, so they need to toe the line, because they know that if they don't toe the line, they're gonna be on the outside looking in. That's the issue.
But we also have the fact that Democrats have characterized Donald Trump as the reincarnation of Adolf Hitler.
Yes, absolutely.
That democracy is dying. I mean, I'm reading Kamala Harris's book,
Oh,
and she, so you don't have to.
thank you.
And
Thank you, Cliff. We appreciate that. Thank you.
she's leaning in that direction. That
That
Trump
Trump
is
is Hitler?
a threat to democracy.
Well, I mean, you're at a point here where there's a strong faction of people out there who are radicals, let's face it. I mean, they're radicals, and they do not support the fundamental principles of American democracy. They don't believe in it. They don't believe in the free capitalist system. They've said it clearly. I mean, they've said it. So, and that's not imputing it to Kamala or anybody else, but I mean, what you're talking about now is if you have people who really, really have an issue with the status quo of a society, there's methods for disrupting that society as a prelude to changing it. And I'm sure there are some people that are engaging in this activity for that purpose, and I think it's important that, you can have your issues with Donald Trump all you want, but if you're accusing him of being a fascist for enforcing specific, well-established federal law, you're up the wrong tree. He's not.
He's only doing what he promised to do when he was elected.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's not be surprised when these things happen, because John's right. He said, I'm going to do A, B, C, and D. And he is doing A, B, C, and D.
Yeah.
So let's not get our panties in a bunch
Yeah.
because he's doing A, B, C, and D. He said, I'm going to do it. He's a man of his word. He's doing it. Now we're all
And those who don't
flustered.
like it, I say 3.5 more years.
And you know something? He said, you're going to get tired of winning. I am not tired of winning. I get up every morning, I say, thank you. I am not tired of winning. I love it. It's a glorious day. Right?
Well, at least there's an attempt to try to restore law and order here, and that's important, very important.
Right. And I think you and I both appreciate that.
Yes, absolutely.
And along with Cliff, I think the four of us appreciate that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, what's your thought about the military going into Chicago?
Actually, when I think about it, I don't think of it as the military, I think of it as the National Guard.
Okay?
And in my mind, yes, the National Guard is part of our military establishment, but it is also a state institution under the state governor for doing state business.
Okay?
And so therefore, I don't think of it as the same as the U.S. Army or the Marine Corps going into a city. This is local people doing local business.
Okay?
And I think that from time to time, it may be necessary to restore order.
I don't disagree with you at all.
I
And
don't-
you are the expert on that.
I don't understand why Chicago is so ignorant of the problems that they're having
Thank you.
with the murder rate, the activities like when they boxed in a ice truck on Saturday, this last weekend. These are not good things. We have a couple of items here.
So one texter says, the politicians who put criminals before their citizens should never be allowed to hold office ever again. And that's from Jay. Thank you, Jay. Great text. And then the next text says, look what he did at the border, Jay. And Jay, didn't Donald Trump, President Trump, say, I'm going to restore order at the border? And he did. And Jay, I'm glad you brought it up, because wasn't Kamala Harris the border czar? Now, she went to the border when it was brought up that she was the border czar. She went to the border, she went to the office, she talked to a few people, but she never left the office and went to the actual border. She never saw the problems at the border.
Well, Regina, let me just put this into your ear, okay?
Tell me.
There's no cry out there to fix immigration. Immigration to the United States is so complex that it needs to get changed. So I plead with President Trump, you need to create some legislation to bring citizenship into the 2025. This business that we're going to send you a postcard and tell you what to do, when I can't even read English. So everything to become a citizen is way too complex, and no one's screaming for change. I don't blame them for jumping over the line. I would.
So I have friends who have immigrated from other countries, and it was a long, expensive,
Why?
tedious process.
For what? For what reason?
Because I wanted to come to America.
No, but why is it so long and expensive?
Thank you. Thank you, John.
That's my problem.
Thank you.
Only the rich can come.
Absolutely. And you know
I'm
what?
sorry, wait, just a sec. History. History explains this, John.
Well, tell me.
Cliff,
Go ahead, John.
all you have to do is make a woman pregnant,
Oh,
and whatever kiddo comes out is a citizen.
right,
Not hard.
right.
It's history. The government's trying to get rid of that. So should your kid have to go through citizenship training, or do we kick the kid out of the country? What do you want to do with your kid, Cliff?
We have some information on this as well.
Go ahead.
The immigration problem, there's the aspect to the immigration problem that people are not really aware of, is the abuse that goes on to the illegal immigrants. For example, the illegal immigrants are brought in, or even immigrants, even legitimate immigrants. If you come in on a visa and you wind up working for a particular company, that company has literally total control over you. They can
Yes.
they can set your hours. You have no capacity to say no. That you're almost like slave labor.
Yep.
And if you come here illegally, you are in effect become slave labor. So there's a dark side to this whole operation of immigration. To John's question, that involves, I think, a large portion of corruption. I think some individuals, some business owners and operators want the advantage of having this slave labor. It's always a temptation in a system that that runs on free enterprise, that you're going to try to hedge the ability to have to pay wage labor. And I think that's the biggest problem. One of the things that really upsets us is when they start talking about they don't want police enforcing immigration, and they don't want, because they're basically concerned that by doing this, there's a breach of trust between the community and the police. That, in our opinion, is a bunch of horse shit. Excuse me. What the real factors have been shown is that by creating these communities where people are undocumented and there's no ability to track and find out who they are. They're basically amorphous people. They are subject to far more abuse than most other people. And some of the greatest police abuse has been towards those people because they won't report it. They won't do anything.
Right.
And I think the idea that you can have you're going to transform an illegal system into a legal one is complete absurdity, and that's what's being advocated by a lot of district attorneys and prosecutors. They'll make the appeal that by the enforcement of ICE regulations are creating situations in which they're breeding mistrust between the community and the police. That's an absurd proposition. A completely absurd proposition. You're basically saying that because people are enforcing the law, you're now creating a division between the police and the community. Well, that's an undermining of the sovereignty of the state, and the community as well. So I think
even though we're cable TV, we're still restricted. There's 7 words we can't use. So we got to be careful. The word police are out there. Thank you.
So I think Dennis is correct. The abuse that we foster on people who come is enormous.
Yeah.
So I used to work at a consulting firm, and we did bring several people over. And Dennis, I'm going to be honest with you and say that I was the person who reviewed the documents for new hires. And I would get the documents from people who came from, let's say, India, and I would have to review those documents. And I'm going to say right now, I'd be calling the State Department and saying, hey, can you tell me what I should be looking for? Because I'm not exactly sure.
Well, let me ask you 3 Musketeers a question, okay? Back when Joe Biden was president, okay? There you are living in Guatemala where the police beat the daylights out of you. They rape your wife anytime they feel like it and get away with it. Beat up everybody. Nobody gets arrested. You call the police, well, the police are the ones who are raping your wife and beating you up. And you get word they're letting everybody into America. You call your cousin who lives up in New York, hey, I'm understanding they're letting people in. Yeah, it's crazy. Let everybody in. Just come on up. They let you go right through the border. Now, let me ask you 3 Musketeers. You're living in Guatemala. You're freshly off the rape thing. You got black and blue marks from the cops. Dennis, what do? Do you stay in Guatemala or do you scoot to America?
That's the problem from a person living in Guatemala, not my problem. All right, my
No,
problem
you
is,
are- No, Dennis.
my problem is-
You're living in Guatemala,
yeah,
black and blue, just raped your wife. What do?
how does that, that's not my concern. The whole world is full of that stuff. Right, you can go all over the United, you can go through the whole world, and
Dennis-
you're gonna find misery. The question I'm concerned about is, how do we preserve our own society and try to make our society
Dennis-
a proper one?
Respectfully, we had a free lunch up here for, how long was Biden president? 4 years? Or 8 years? I don't know. What, 4 years. We had a free lunch up here.
Well,
for
I'd
4
say
years.
at most 12 months.
So, Regina, you're freshly raped, and we're beating the daylights out of you. You're all black and blue. You live in Guatemala. Your cousin says, just come on up to New York.
So.
What do you do?
As a woman, I'm probably going to go to New York, but I also respect and admire Dennis's position, because I also think, as an American citizen, my concern needs to be here in America. But as a woman,
Moving on to Cliff.
okay.
Cliff, they just raped your wife, beat the daylights out of you. You live in Guatemala. You call your cousin who lives in New York City, and he says, come on up. He'll let you walk right in.
John,
You're not much safer.
John, that's true. John, you don't need
Not in New York.
Yeah.
rape and physical abuse as a reason to come to the United States. It's the land of opportunity.
That's the question on the table.
Everybody's trying to come to the
That's
United
the question on the
States.
table, Cliff.
Right.
The question on the table is a
What do you-
false
What do
question.
you do, Mr. Guatemalan?
I'm telling you, it's a false question. You're coming here anyway. When I would visit
Cliff,
the U.S. Embassy
I'm going to
in
turn the page.
Manila.
I'm going to turn the page with my answer. I'm grabbing my family by the hand, and we're running to America.
Why did you wait until your wife got raped? What's wrong with you?
Well, it wasn't a free lunch. I couldn't get over the border that easy, Cliff. My cousin said, look, you can't get over the border. They're going to send you back. You can walk up to America, but they're going to send you back. But now my cousin says, come on, they're letting everybody in. That's the difference, Cliff. We had 4 years free lunch.
And we also had 50 years of a lousy foreign policy that created a situation where these conditions exist.
Yeah.
And that goes both parties.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah, Leo Carrillo talked about that back in the 1950s,
Yeah.
that we were throwing, back when millions was a big number, millions of dollars into the sewers of Europe and Asia, and we were ignoring Latin America. And we should not have done that. It was stupid.
What was it? It was John Kennedy that had the Alliance for Progress.
Yeah.
He was the first one that tried to establish that rapport. But it's been a very, very poor record of foreign policy with regards to South America, and we're paying for it now. We're paying for it.
So what do you think about the AG race down in Virginia, where the Democrat, Jay Jones, is,
Oh,
we now know is,
Crazy.
said if he had 2 bullets and 2 dictators and the Republican House Speaker in front of him, he'd use the 2 bullets on the Republican House Speaker.
All right, that's a, I said right there, that's a communist talking.
yes.
All right, that is a communist. They believe in violence. There's been long-standing practice of theirs to use violence against political operatives to get everything they want. So when they start talking about violence, you're talking about an extremist, somebody who's danger to the country.
So what about the FBI Director, James Comey?
But people are not doing anything about it. People are still sending him money.
Well,
still
that goes to
sending
show
him
you
money.
how much of an insurrection potential
Yes.
there is in this
Oh,
country.
gosh, yes. And he looks like he's going to win. That's the scary part. People are still supporting the man, even though he's made those statements.
That reminds me, I need to send money to win some Sears.
But you're also going to have the same problem in New York if McDonough gets elected. So,
So we have some text. Kamala Harris will go down as the worst VP in history. Yes. You're jumping a border and not doing it the right way. You're already breaking the laws of the country you are trying to enter. Right, because you are jumping the border. President Biden lied to the American people when he said there's nothing I can do. What's that word, John?
Lies.
Lies, okay. Home run BRD, He never ran the country, Biden. Cliff was right. Maybe for a year and a half he knew what was going on. Your mindset is different when you live in those countries. Yeah, you're right. Your mindset is very different because it's horrible. It's horrible.
Well,
And
you're
that's
lucky
why-
because you were born here.
Right.
Those people are unlucky because they were born down there.
Right, and that's why every single one of us comes from people who came here from another country for a better life. And I am grateful every day that my grandparents said, let's go to America for a better life. I'm incredibly grateful. Everything I have is because of them.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
It's just amazing. So, Cliff, you had something else. You said Mamdani. Now, that's scary too, right? Looks like, oh my goodness, he could win. Now, there are two sides to the coin. People are saying, oh my gosh, New York will fall to ruin. This is horrible. The other side of the coin, people are saying, hey, if New York is stupid enough to vote for him, let them have him. New York's was one of the greatest cities in the world. People came from everywhere. I've been to New York a million times. I haven't been there in years. 'Cause I don't like it.
Where can you walk in America today? Can you walk around your neighborhood after it's dark?
No, I won't walk around my neighborhood in the dark.
Why?
I'm afraid.
That's
I'm
in
afraid.
lovely Lowell, Massachusetts. In Chicago, I had 6 girls from Chicago sitting with me the other day. We're chit-chatting. I said, look, I'm glad you guys are from Chicago. How safe is it? And she says, during the day, not bad. We don't go out at night.
No.
Ever.
No.
Don't even drive the car at night.
So,
Can you imagine you can't even go to Demolis's
That's-
at nighttime?
That's really scary.
Dennis, can you walk around your house at nighttime?
Oh, yeah.
Dennis lives in Westford.
I know the difference between a peaceful community and a non-peaceful community. I came from Brockton, and where I walked around, always looking around, and I'm in Westford now, and it's a peaceful place to live. It's a lot of pressure off you, a lot of pressure.
How about you, Cliff? Can you walk around your house after dark?
yeah,
Good.
Cliff
But-
lives in a nice neighborhood.
I live in Belvedere. What can I say? So,
But I just wanted to say one thing on immigration. I think immigration is one of the core issues that involves the political conflict that's going on in the United States today over the future of the country. There's two factions that support the non-enforcement of laws. One would be extreme radicals who really see this as an opportunity to tear the country apart, and the other one are exploitive business individuals who are willing to take advantage of any situation to further their own situation. Both of them are a threat to the country, and and there needs to be a strong statement and a strong enforcement of law, or we're going to be in serious trouble. It's as simple as that.
I think
so
we are in
back to
serious trouble.
democracy.
Yeah.
H.L. Mencken defined it very well for me. H.L. Mencken, a reporter for the
Baltimore Sun.
Right. And he said, democracy means the people get what they want.
Or they
Good
get
and
what they
hard.
deserve.
So,
get what they
in New
deserve.
York, are they getting, I think it's both. They're getting what they want free grocery stores. But they also, because they're voting for him, and they're not thinking, they're getting what they deserve, which is a city that's going to go to pieces. And the stores that are on Fifth Avenue,
Excuse me. Not pieces, Florida.
yes.
It's a
because-
city going to Florida.
Because everybody who has the means, because not everybody has the means, Cliff, is going to go to Florida. All those stores on Fifth Ave where I used to love to walk and look, one time in my life, about 30 years ago, I actually bought a pocketbook in the Louis Vuitton store on Fifth Ave because I saved all my money and I was able to afford it. I couldn't afford it today, but I could afford it 30 years ago. Those stores are going to shutter. And there's going to be no reason for people to come to New York because those stores won't be there.
So, but it's spreading.
Yes,
Yeah, Boston Globe headline, Boston City Councilors propose publicly owned grocery stores to make healthy food more accessible.
Okay.
Right.
So you want to know with the track, let's take a look at the track record of publicly owned business. Let's start off with the MBTA. How's that running? Okay? It's a complete waste, right? Then let's go to Mass Health. That's another great publicly run healthcare system. Look where that's going, right? It's consuming the budget. It's now, 50% of the budget is going to pay health costs. They can't slow it down. So now they want to put food into that? You know, they have a big opportunity here with the Demoulas situation to take over the Demoulas stores. If we have to rely on the Commonwealth of Massachusetts to provide us food, we're all going to starve. It's as simple as that.
Dennis, you're right, but politicians think of this as jobs. My sister can run the supermarket. Yes, and her husband, he can help her run the supermarket.
Well, there you go. There's your break.
jobs.
That's the breakdown of your cap. Yeah, it's not jobs. It's government run. What's that? Yeah, government welfare. And it's not going to produce. It's not going to do the demands. And if those individuals put their personal interests over the interest of the good of society as a whole.
Dennis,
So
it's Friday. We're going home noontime today. We'll see you Tuesday.
Yes,
That's going to be
Yes.
the new grocery store coming to town.
yep.
We're closed. See you Tuesday.
Right.
But the food's going to rot. Oh, that's too bad. See you
And so
Tuesday.
what did Reagan say? Be wary when the government says,
Yes.
I'm here to help.
I'm here to help you.
Right? And he was right. He was right.
Yeah, it's a disaster, a real disaster
Yes.
waiting to happen.
Yes.
So, Monday, there is no show
Okay.
because it's either Columbus Day or Indigenous
It's a
Peoples
holiday.
Day.
I'm Italian. It's my high holy day. It's Columbus Day.
Yeah, good day. It's a great day.
Whichever you want to pick. John is apparently agnostic on this issue.
Regina, I was saying on, I think, Monday's show that Sopranos was ahead of its time. One of the first episodes, I think in season 1, was talking about the debate of no longer calling Columbus Day. And so I enjoyed watching that. But that was way before. I think it started in 99, and I don't think they actually changed the holiday until like 2014, 2015.
You're right.
Massachusetts, we just say, see you Tuesday.
See you Tuesday.
See you Tuesday. We don't care what day it is.
Someone texted in. I appreciate it. Great show. Have a great weekend. Thank you all, everybody. Have a great weekend too.
In Italy,
Yes?
if you have a holiday on Thursday,
Yeah?
they make a bridge
Oh,
to Monday,
really?
so nobody comes in on Friday. So,
See, that's
what
look
book
at
are
that.
you reading?
I'm reading 2 books right now. I've got 2, actually, I got 3. I got one going at work. It's called The Sisters. I have 2 mysteries going right now at home that I brought both of them to the beach with me. So I packed them. I'm dressed like this because I'm going to the gym, and I have one packed in the car, so I'm on the treadmill. I'm going to read it. It's a mystery.
Dennis.
I'm reading Adam Smith's Wealth of Nations for the 3rd time to find out what's going on, and I'm also reading Herbert Marcuse's One-Dimensional Man.
Okay.
Very interesting book. Very interesting book.
Hebert Marcuse.
Herbert Marcuse. He
On
was
Tuesday's show, we're
the
gonna
communist in Boston. He used to teach at BU.
Bobby Hoey will be here. Cisco Maldonado will be here. Tommy Bowman will be here. Karen Casella and Adi Santos are coming from the Registry of Deeds. That's Tuesday.
This is not the guy from San Diego who said, abolish the Weimar Republic, whatever replaces it has to be better.
No, this is the guy who basically set the model up for the so-called New Left in the 1960s. He reinstituted the Marxist ideas
Yeah.
into
Sorry, kids, we got to
common
say
times.
goodbye. Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.